The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Many strides, one dream. Many heartbeats, one pulse. Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success. The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Hi, I'm Celine Gordon, host of Holy Road.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy John Mark Wigan, host on the show Holy Road. Listen, people need to know what's happening in the churches and in ministry in all of Jamaica. It's an absolute blessing. We're really excited to share this.
Tune in to CVM, see it happen.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
What's your story? What's your sign? Who dreamers? Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our way. We come alive.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, 7 shot at Chris Martin's grandmother's wake. JPS and OUR under heavy scrutiny following price hike, and PNP intends to feed majority women candidates.
Also this evening, nearly a decade on, justice still elusive for Mario Dean. In the business report, BOJ cuts rate for first time in over 2 years. And in sports, 2024 ISA schoolboy football season ready to be launched.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Wednesday, August 21, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, 8 people were shot, 1 fatally at a wake for reggae artist Christopher Martin's grandmother in St. Catherine early Wednesday. Gunmen reportedly invaded the event at 2 a.m., opening fire and then escaping on foot.
Now, the deceased has not yet been identified. However, while giving an update on the matter Wednesday evening, Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the shooting was gang-related.
The current habit of using contract killers. Contract killers tend to have no respect for anybody's life because they are from a distant community. So when they go to a community, one man in the shop, they go to kill, but they shoot at everybody else in the place. And a gun is only, the bullet from a gun is only designed to kill. So although they might say they don't want to kill anybody else, as they are trying to suggest in Clarendon, once you shoot somebody, you're looking to kill them. And we treat all of them who fire on individuals illegally as the same, a killer gunman, who the police will find and apprehend and treat us accordingly. There's the current.
Now, that incident comes almost 2 weeks after a similar attack in Clarendon, where 17 people were shot and 8 died. Dr. Chang suggests contract killers may be behind the mayhem.
Meanwhile, a shooting along Tawari Crescent on Maxfield Avenue in Kingston on Monday left 2 women injured. The victims are being treated at hospital. Britannia Witter has more in this report. And we will get back to that report later.
Energy Minister Daryl Vaz today remained steadfast with his posture to hold the Light and Power Company, the Jamaica Public Service, the JPS, and the Office of Utilities Regulations, the OUR, accountable as many Jamaicans remain without light. The minister says he has been in constant communication with the stakeholders. He updated the nation on his meeting this morning. Trisha Gay Kelly tells us more.
Based on the circumstances, the government has been left with no choice but to pursue a special audit and investigation into JPS bills published in the aftermath of the hurricane.
Things are getting even more serious for the Jamaica Public Service JPS as Energy Minister Daryl Vaz is tightening his grip on the company after he has received many complaints from concerned customers. JPS blamed its hike in electricity bills on an increase in fuel costs and exchange rates. But Vaz was not satisfied with the explanation, so he went searching for clarity. First up, the Floating Storage Regasification Unit, FSRU.
Despite FSRU being out of commission for 5 days, and the JPS was granted a 91% reduction on special consumption tax for fuel for the entire month of July as it relates to ADO. The government is therefore interested in knowing how much ADO was used over the period for which the FRSU was relocated. Our in-house calculations have revealed that there are discrepancies with the calculations being represented in the several JPS bills.
He shared his ministry's calculations for fuel costs contrary to those provided by the JPS. The minister suggested that the JPS was sharing misleading information with the public to conceal the real reason for its cost increase. Minister Vaz went back in time for the exchange rate.
In May 2024, the billing exchange rate jumped from $2.23, or 14%. In other words, the month-to-month impact of the exchange rate is not as severe as JPS is attempting to have customers believe, and therefore would not have such a dramatic impact on their current bills when compared to their previous bills.
However, the Energy Minister did not place sole blame on the agency for the price hike. He says the company was not being monitored as it should be. The Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, was not spared in his rebuke. He says the regulatory framework will be reviewed.
Given that this 32% increase in the fuel rate was unprecedented, it raised concerns from me as minister as to why the OUR did not investigate the cause for such an anomaly in the fuel rate provided by JPS. So going forward, it is not acceptable to have a regulator which has conducted itself in a manner which has raised valid concerns in the public that it is not vigilant enough to hold the utility to account.
And speaking of holding to account, the minister did not let JPS's CFO Vernon Douglas's letter to the Finance Ministry slip through the cracks.
It is neither copied to his president, it is neither copied to his board, it is neither copied to the OUR, it is neither copied to the permanent secretary, or it is neither copied to the minister with responsibility for all. So the only thing that I can think is that Mr. Douglas is in charge of all of us.
JPS is expected to give an update on Friday. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Now, despite the ongoing pressure from various stakeholders, including the public and regulatory bodies, Minister Vaz has expressed a positive outlook on JPS's willingness to reconsider its billing actions. We go back to Trisha Gay Kelly for more.
Despite the Energy Minister's chastening targeted at the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, and by extension the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, Minister Daryl Vaz is commending the JPS for its most recent update regarding estimated bills. The company received much backlash for its handling of customers following Beryl, especially those who were still billed while having no power.
In cases where estimated bills were sent out to persons who had no supply, JPS will cancel these bills and generate new bills representing zero consumption and therefore $0 owed for those bills. It means that for those persons who have not had their lights restored, that were affected by Beryl that received estimated bills or any other kind of bills, those bills will be zero rated, and therefore there will be no funds owed to the JPS on those accounts.
Minister Vaz says this act is a move in the right direction.
I think that this is something that can be commended as a start, but the big elephant in the room remains, and that is these unconscionable bills that were sent out in recent days. I can say to you that I am confident that based on the discussions that I have had with the President and his tone, that we are going to see definitively something in the next few days.
On Wednesday, Vaz received a letter from the JPS detailing its progress in achieving full restoration.
It says over the past week, JPS has restored 7,000 customers in St. Elizabeth. As of yesterday evening, 3,247 customers remained without electricity, with 34,549 customers already restored within the parish. JPS continues to navigate factors such as the weather and the terrain, but remains on track to meet, let me repeat that, remains on track to meet its commitment to the government to achieve full restoration of electricity services by August 31st.
Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
And we'll continue with CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Seven Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's human development agency.
At Sagicor Bank, we know that feeling.
When you finally find a place
that has your name written all over it, where you can settle down and turn it into a home. So we've designed a mortgage with everything you need to own your home faster and easier.
Including a $2 million line of credit I'm using to go solar.
Put down roots with a mortgage from Sagicor Bank.
Me, I go show them my way of justice.
I'm abused.
I need legal advice. I don't deserve this.
The truth of the matter is, justice there for all of we. The Ministry of Justice has trained more than 5,600 persons in restorative justice practices. More than 200,000 victims have been supported by the victim services. Legal aid has reached thousands island-wide. Make we talk it out, not fight it out. Call 888 Justice today.
At 7 Wednesday, courtesy of
Your love lives on with life insurance from Sagicor.
Welcome back. Calls for justice in the Mario Dean case continue to grow louder nearly a decade after the tragic events that led to his death. Dean died in 2014 after being beaten in police custody. This matter remains at the center of the high-profile case involving 3 officers. Now, despite numerous delays, the fight for accountability is far from over. Roman Gordon has the latest from a recent protest and updates on the stalled legal proceedings.
Cries for justice in the case of then 31-year-old Mario Dean reverberate even now, almost 10 years after the controversial slaying. Back in 2014, Dean, who was held after being found with a single ganja spliff, was beaten to death while in police custody. 3 officers implicated in the incident. The case has been postponed several times, adding to the frustration of one closest to the quandary.
And 10 years is just too long, too long.
Dean's mother, Mercia Fraser, has led annual protests demanding justice for her son. his case being postponed again to November 18, this time due to lack of jurors.
What we are facing, especially in St. James, is an issue where it's hard for us to find jurors for all the cases involved, not just this case in particular. And we really have been working with the court administration to see how best we can find as many jurors as we can to get most of the cases that are in backlog out, which this case happens to be one of them.
The delays by the state is a travesty to justice. Come November 18th, we must see the trial date commencing for Mario Dean.
Jamaicans for Justice JFJ have since 2014 advocated for swift justice and also police accountability. Today, its executive director, Mikel Jackson, says time has run out.
Come November 18th, the Jamaican state must say to the people that, listen, now is the time to end police impunity. Now is the time for state accountability. Now is the time for those who were a part of this gentleman's death to be held to account.
The St. James Police say they want justice, with Commanding Officer Aaron Samuels offering remedies for the current juror deficit, even suggesting judge-only trials.
We understand the plight, and we want persons to know that we are interested in justice.
I want you to stand up for justice with Miss Fraser. Let her know that you're supporting her call, because again, when it is that we don't demand accountability from the state, it could be you next.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
On the political scene now, the People's National Party, the PNP, is preparing to field majority women candidates to chart their course in political representation. President of the PNP's Women's Movement, Patricia Duncan-Smith, says Jamaica's women are not afraid to take a seat at the political table. Courtney Lewis reports.
Should the People's National Party assume government in the next general election, the party will see majority seats being held by women. That's according to Shadow Minister on Social Transformation and Social Protection, Patricia Duncan-Sutherland, who contends women are ready to take charge in the political arena.
After we win, we will have 50% of our candidates being women. And in all of those PNP seats, 50% of those candidates will be women.
She was addressing the PNP's 51st anniversary of its women's movement. Duncan-Sutherland's ideas further defy public opinion that men are better political leaders.
We are ready. And it's not because we are women, but because we are equal, and man and woman are here to serve and have the ability to serve.
The Women's Movement's president campaigned on behalf of the PNP for greater social access, highlighting the importance of employment in positive social change.
We are standing for gender parity. We are standing for access through our institutional arrangements. And we are standing for inclusion. And inclusion has to be purposeful.
Purposeful, according to her, in ensuring equal responsibilities in the home and school, which will boost the economy.
And women are on equal footing. That Jamaica can't happen if women only 59% of our women can find employment. It will not happen. So we are standing for gender parity.
Sutherland concludes more women in political spaces makes way for better access to greater resources and allays fears surrounding women in leadership. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
The Yas High School in St. Thomas is set to receive a renewed block following the abandonment of several facilities due to damage sustained from an earthquake last year. This renovation aims to restore functionality ahead of the new school year in September. Adrian Williams has more.
Yas High School in St. Thomas experienced extensive damage after a magnitude 5.4 earthquake last October. Yas sits just south of the Enriquillo Planting Garden Fault Zone. This is an area where earthquake activity is likely to be felt. Principal Mark Malava says this has set the school back, compounding its financial challenges.
Because of that earthquake, then the entire Block C had to be shut down. Block C houses the main bathroom facilities for students, as well as the one department, a TV lab, and the tuck shop and canteen area.
The Ministry of Education has stepped in to assist in the recovery process ahead of the new school year.
Since then, the ministry really has stepped in. The damage to Block C, that went to tender and a contractor was selected. I believe that the cost to effect repair and renovation to Block C is somewhere in the region of about $19 million.
Malava believes that if things go as planned, the block will be ready for September. He, however, is faced with an issue a number of schools are currently experiencing, a shortage of teachers.
There is the issue of teacher shortage, and we are pushing hard to try and fill some of the vacancies that are here, that we have at the Yas High. There are some fundamental issues that the ministry must address from a system-wide perspective in terms of funding of our schools. And once that is done, I am optimistic that will go a far way in alleviating some of the challenges that I have as principal at the institution.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
The business segment is up right after this break. Stay with us.
Hey my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. The least you ever test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Real long life with a youth coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Wagwan.
Concharo Coco.
It's the girl Naya Nayela. I'm representing from Concharo Coco Beauty and Aesthetics. You're watching Cooking with Love. Yeah.
What them know about that?
Keep it locked to CVM TV.
Buy a bag of Hypro feeds and win a bag of cash in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Hypro is back with another chance for you to win a share of millions in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Try for the grand prize of $3 million. Weekly prizes of $100,000 plus daily prizes. To enter, buy any qualifying Hypro feed and text the entry code in the bag for your chance to win a bag of cash in the Hypro Farm to Fortune promotion.
Watch your pocket grow. Watch it grow with Hypro.
Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back. Let's go to our business report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today. It's been over 2 years since Jamaica Central Bank last announced a rate cut this morning, August 21, during the BOJ's quarterly monetary policy report press conference held in Montego Bay for the first time since 2017. Bank of Jamaica's Monetary Policy Committee decision to further cautious easing of its monetary policy stance by reducing the policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.7% was broken down by BOJ Governor Richard Biles.
The decision to further ease the monetary policy stance reflects the committee's view that headline inflation is becoming more anchored in the bank's target range of 4 to 6%. While there will be an uptick in headline inflation over the next 3 to 5 months, August, December, caused by the impact of Hurricane Beryl, this uptick we consider to be temporary. The committee also noted that economic conditions are generally supportive of low, stable, and predictable inflation in the future.
Governor Biles, who has been widely praised for his firm stewardship of the signal rate, even amidst calls for its reduction, offered a concise deconstruction of the dynamics involved in policy rate adjustment, noting that the objective of tightening monetary policy is to slow the economy as a means of squeezing inflation out, while also assessing the transmission of its monetary policy or the effects on prices of goods and services. The BOJ governor notes that as early as June, there has been a perceivable shift.
But in June, as Wayne did say, we did start easing. And I don't think we appreciate what that means, When the Bank of Jamaica holds up its hand and says, I will pay you 12% to leave money with me, what do you think happens? All of the financial institutions rush to the Bank of Jamaica and put their money with us. Smart individuals do that too. So all of a sudden, Bank of Jamaica has a swollen vault of money. When I say vault, I don't mean literally. And the institutions don't have that to lend again. So what that is doing is tightening up the system even more, because once it's in our vault, it's not available to the public. So when we say we are going to drop those rates by 100 basis points, in fact, our CDs went from nearly 12 to 8. A little bit under 9. Right? That means a lot of money that would have come to us doesn't come to us. And some that was with us decides to leave us. 20 billion of it. And what that does is push down treasury bill rates. And in the money market, you find that rates have also subsided. So rates have started to come down already from June. And the policy rate is really of 25 basis points is, as I said before, really a signal. In of itself is not such a material thing. A bank that has a deposit with us earning 7% yesterday is not likely to move that out in a rush because it went to 6.75. But what it does, it says to the banks and to the business community, that is the trend, the direction of things. So get ready.
An example of that preparation was observed at the recent Sagicor Q2 results briefing a week prior to today's announcement, where President and CEO of Sagicor Group Jamaica, Christopher Zaka, described some of the expectations of the conglomerate in anticipation of potential rate cuts.
Central banks historically have been behind in terms of either rate increases or reductions. I think the BOJ has been spot on, frankly, better than its colleagues across the world. We do run scenarios, what ifs. We believe a reduction in interest rates will be generally positive to the group. It will aid investment banking in particular. Our commercial banking area will be strong with it too. On the insurance side, where we see the benefit of a lower rate is in terms of economic activity, which we're a little concerned about looking at the market right now.
The date of the next policy decision announcement is September 30, 2024. And that was your Business Report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
We'll go to another break with our market summary.
Concharo Coco.
It's the girl Naya Nayela. I'm representing from Concharo Coco Beauty and Aesthetics. You're watching Cooking with Love. Yeah.
What them know about that?
Keep it locked to CVM TV.
We are bucket together, it puts you in a good mood. Every moment we share is finger licking good.
The time by KFC is 7:30.
I am Donovan Williamson, Operations Coordinator for St. Elizabeth.
He is part of Team JPS, working night and day to rebuild sections of the St. Elizabeth network severely impacted by Hurricane Beryl. We understand how incredibly challenging it has been, and we want you to know that we will not stop until every customer is restored. That's our commitment to you.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Here's a recap now of our major stories. 8 people were shot, 1 fatally at a wake for reggae artist Christopher Martin's grandmother in St. Catherine early Wednesday. Gunmen reportedly invaded the event at 2 a.m., opening fire and then escaping on foot. The mass shooting is believed to be gang-related. Energy Minister Daryl Vaz remains steadfast in holding the Jamaica Public Service, the JPS, and the Office of Utilities Regulations, the OUR, accountable, as many Jamaicans remain without light. The minister says he has been in constant communication with the stakeholders, and the BOJ cuts policy rate for the first time in over 2 years.
We now check in on social media.
So what's trending in our local social media spaces? A devastating fire suspected to be an arson attack ravaged a popular Kingston restaurant on Monday. The blaze reportedly broke out around 3 a.m. at the Barbican Sports Turf, leaving the beloved eatery in ruins. Here are some of your reactions. At Tiffy_Tiffy that writes, "Bad mind this, no like see young people strive." At _._ocean comments, "Boy, them full of bad mind. But today for me, tomorrow for you. Uno time will come." At Toya_Parker 3012 posts, "Probably beg him a thing and him genuinely not have it and them do this. Bad mind are the order of the day. That's why plenty get out and quick without a look behind them. And them no want work neither." At ZaneLegend_ says, "Why people always try to fight out young entrepreneurs? Why? The man built his business from the ground up and you criminal elements did this?" At NY_Yardman shares, "I know we always use the word bad mind when we see these kind of stories, but I sometimes think it's business owners not succumbing to extortionists, and they in turn feel like if you're not going to pay us our extortion money, then we're just going to burn down your establishment to the ground." And that's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM_television on Instagram. I'm Trisha Gay Kelly.
Regional and international news now.
We begin with news in the region. The wait is over for thousands of regional students who wrote the May-June 2024 exams of the Caribbean Examination Council CXC. The Barbados-based CXC has informed them that in a matter of hours, they will be able to access the results online through CXC Student Portal. An official release of results ceremony was held in Dominica with CXC and education officials. We learn more from CBC News, Barbados.
You're finding that they're trying to pass off as another candidate. That's not good, but it happened, right? So